Asked me how I trim my models out, and asked me to try to explain it. I showed it in Chicago, but we're going to take and make an assumption here that you've already done the plastic thermoform and you've got your model and your Essix plastic and you're ready to go. So what I do, Lexan scissors, I come across the back, and I'll explain to you why. You're set up here in a second, and then I just turn, plastics out, I turn the curve in. You see that? And now I've got the model trimmed out. Once I do that, and this is really, for me, this is really important, is when you're setting up your initial model to do the correction, what you do is you trim and flatten your base. You want a flat surface here, because it's gonna, if you will, in essence, fit on the build plate like this and print. And this way you can fit as many as you want on, but this flat back surface is really important for what I'm going to show you next. So I take a number 2 X-Acto knife, the bigger X-Acto knife, not one of these nice little small ones. They're just way too flimsy to get the job done. This is nice and beefy and sturdy, and I come straight down the back and cut that plastic off right there. And you can see that the plastic's gone off both those. Now the next trick to this is broke tool, screwdriver, whatever, but you lift underneath and you can hear it cracking as it separates, and I'll pinch it holding it, and then I'll come to the other side so that this can't snap back down on, and lift the back. And I purposely don't want to come around all the way up here to the teeth right away. I want to work this up so that we don't do things like this, break the teeth off. You're still going to possibly do it, but it pops right off. Then I take my trusty scissors and I just literally trim around, trying to stay about 2 millimeters is what I'm looking for right here. And you don't have to be perfect. I prefer it to be nice and tight on the posterior, around the back. And it's rough trimmed out. Now what I do, get some of the stuff out of the way, is I have a Dremel fine sanding, put that in my, turn it on, and this is kind of gets dusty. I typically run a vacuum, right, sucking the air, trying to suck some of this dust out, but I'm just taking the rough stuff down and shaping it a little. I kind of indent this out the back, some do, some don't, just from a tissue standpoint. And how much you sand is how good you're worth the scissors. After I'm done with that, take the out. I use these medium from Essix. Love them. They're great. It's the only one I use. I don't use the soft, or I don't use the firm, which are different colors. And come back here and polish it up. Take the smooth off the edges and smooth out the roughness. And this will trim down a little bit more plastic. And then I check it to see if it's smooth. I can feel a little roughness right here. So I'll just come back and, nice and smooth. Sharp edge here. So it doesn't. Yep. And that's it with that. And voila. Essix retainer made, trimmed out, and that's how I do it rather quickly. So hopefully you find that helpful.